Hello guys, welcome to this series of lessons, videos on sequences. Here we're going to take a look at, really we would call them patterns. In kindergarten, you probably start with pattern recognition, looking at what shape comes next. This isn't really a sequence. A sequence is just a list of items or a series of items. Often they're numbers, but they don't have to be. And so really the goal here is we're just going to look at some activities, and we're going to just think deeply about patterns and really extending. In kindergarten, we might start with, a pattern here where there's just two items and they repeat rather quickly. We're going to look at longer patterns where it's a little more difficult to identify what repeats. Like here we have a repeating pattern of circle, square. And then also kind of extending that what happens way out here that you can't see, And then also we start connecting numbers with it. So if this is the first one, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth, we can look at what happens at the 100th place. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. If you look at class activity 9X, it's got a repeating pattern here of a square, 3 circles, 2 triangles, and then a square. 3 circles, 2 triangles, a square, and it repeats. And there's a series of questions here. The first is, what will be the 100th shape? Then the second question is, how many circles will there be in the first 100? So, how many circles in the first 100 shapes? And then the third, it gives some thinking of 3 students who answered question 2. So I'm actually going to start there with question 3. I would really prefer to give you this question, have you look at number 1, discuss it as a group, and then go on to number 2, discuss it as a group, go on to number 3, have you work in partners, and then discuss it as a group. But obviously it's more challenging to do that in an online environment. So I'm going to start with 3, go through Amanda Roberts and Kayla's thinking, go backwards then to 2, and then finish with 1. And then I'm going to have you post your thinking and thoughts for class activity 9Y and 9Z in the discussion board. So let's take a look at how students answered number 2. Amanda says there must be 60 circles. Her answer is 60. And she says the reason why is there's 6 circles in the first 10 shapes. So she looks at the first 10 shapes. There's 6 circles. And so 100 is 10 sets of 10. So there will be 10 sets of 6 circles. So let me see if I can do some math to show this. So if we take 100 circles or 100 shapes, divided into groups of 10, there'll be 10 groups. In the first group of 10, there are 6 circles, so there must be 10 times 6, or 60 circles total. So what do you think of her answer? Seems like some pretty good reasoning, some pretty good logic. Do you think it's solid? Well, let's take a look at the next group of 10. 11 to 20. Notice here we only have 4 circles instead of 6. So that's going to throw her answer off. Not even sure right now what the answer is, but we can see her reasoning is good as far as there are 10 groups. There are 6 circles in the first group of 10. The issue is, we can see here, the second group of 10 doesn't have 6 circles. How many does the third set have? We don't really know, but her thinking isn't solid that every group of 10 has 6 circles. And so that is going to be an issue right here. All right, so let's take a look at the next student, Robert. Robert says there are 50 circles. Okay, that's his answer. Let's see what Robert has to say. He says he thought like Amanda did, but he got a different answer. He said there were 10 circles in the first 20 shapes. So there will be 5 sets of 10 circles. So 100 divided by 20 is 5. So there'll be 5 sets of 20. And then from there, he took 5 times 10 and got 50 circles. Okay, so it seems like Robert looked at it slightly different. Similar strategy, really. But seems like he's trying to take into account the differences here. So here's 0 to 10. There's 3, 6, 9, 10 circles in that 20. And so since there's 5 sets of 20 to get to 100, there must be 5 times 10, or 50 circles. What do you think of that reasoning? Really encourage you to pause it and think through it, try it on your own. I've got the same question I had with Amanda. So Amanda said that each group of 10 had 6. Robert's saying each group of 20 has 10. And that's my question, is does it? And I'm actually kind of questioning. I'm going to say no, I don't think so, because if you look here at these sets of 3, I have part of a set of 3. So I'm seeing that this next set of 20, 21 won't start with a square. 21's actually going to start with circles. So let's see if we can think this through and see if Robert's thinking will work or not. So I'm going to try something here. I don't know if it will let me copy the shapes. Oh, good, it did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to see if this 20 was a circle, then 21 is actually going to look like this. Well, maybe I won't erase those. Maybe I'll just say 19 and 20, right? Do you agree with me? I'm just looking at this pattern. So it starts with a square, 3 circles, 2 triangles, a square, 3 circles, so square, 3 circles, 2 triangles, a square, 3 circles, and so on. So if I extend this out, (39 and 40). So what's 39 and 40 going to look like? That's 2 more circles, right? So how many circles do we have in the next set of 20? There's 3, 6, 9, 10. Oh, wait. I did this all wrong. I'm sorry. From 21 to 40, there's 2 circles there, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there. There's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 circles in the second set. So Robert's logic doesn't work here because each set of 20 does not have 10. Okay. So it looks like we got issues with Robert's thinking as well. So we had, now I'm not saying the answer is not 50. It might come out to that if these kind of balance out. This one had, how many did it have again? 11. This one up here had 10. Maybe the next set will have 9 and it'll kind of balance out. I don't know. But Robert's reasoning at least has an issue because each set of 20 doesn't have 10. All right, let's take a look at the last student's thinking, Kayla. Kayla's answer is that there are 50 circles, so just like Robert. She got the same answer as Robert, but thought in a different way. The pattern repeats in sets of 6, and 3 of those 6 are circles. So she's saying it repeats in sets of 6. 3 of the 6 are circles. So half the shapes are circles. Since there's 100 shapes total, half have to be circles. So she's saying 50 shapes are circles. Seems pretty reasonable, don't you think? Let's take a look. So here's a set of 6. Here's the next set of 6, the next set of 6 here, and so on. And each time, half of those are circles. All right, I'm going to actually end this video because I need to clean this up before I give more thought on Kayla in the previous question. So go ahead, think through Kayla's thinking and see if you're okay with it or if there's an issue with it.